What is modernism? By Marcus Ford. Modernism is the progression of ideas and a break from the traditional norms within literature, like poems and novels during the 20th century. This gave poets and writers freedom to express themselves and break from the norms and experiment with different writing styles. History of modernism formed from the fear and disillusionment of World War I. In this period of history, the early 20th century was known for its technological, social, and economic improvements that occurred first in England and began to spread to America. 9 elements that defined this era were also the growth, prosperity, fear, war, death, money, materialism, psychology, and disillusionment, with a movement that started within the United States. Earlier examples: F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby; William Faulkner, As I Lay Dying; Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea. With F. Scott Fitzgerald, he was a defining author of modernism because he involved many aspects of culture, individualism, of character, and emphasized the perspective on his characters. In The Great Gatsby, we follow J. Gatsby, where he's in the pursuit of his American dream, but his failure to achieve his dream makes the moral of the story feel that the American dream is unattainable. William Faulkner. He was a self-conscious modernist who epitomized the modernist creed of making new within his novel As I Lie Dying. In this novel, Faulkner experimented with narrative structures, themes of consciousness, and temporal frameworks which he developed from abstract methods of modern paintings transferred to literature. Faulkner's novels also appealed to communities that felt alienated by modernism. Ernest Hemingway. He breaks away from the old ways of writing in the 19th century with a new form and style. In The Old Man and the Sea, Hemingway demonstrates what he has learned by diving deep into a character's subconscious to find the complicated emotions. Throughout most of his novel, Hemingway's main character, Santiago, is alone in his boat with only his thoughts to keep him company. The effects of modernism. Modernism gave an outlet for the working class to express their views on changes brought on by industrialization, through experimentation by writers on different writing styles and techniques within their works. A great example of modernism was created, called avant-garde. Avant-garde pushes the boundaries of what is accepted as the norm or the status quo, primarily in the course of the culture around. Avant-garde is the hallmark of modernism, as distinct from postmodernism. While dissenters would say avant-garde uses drastic new ideas to express and reinforce dramatic political and social changes, while modernism attempts to celebrate modern society without correlating back to reality. Either way, it is agreed that avant-garde is a new and innovative form of trending movements such as Cubanism and art and symbolism in poetry. And an example of avant-garde would be an upcoming writer focusing on the surface narrative of his novel. The Lost Generation. A generation marked by the sense of loss of values enabled by the war, seen through the eyes of the survivors of the war. The idea of progress and achievement becoming foreign in all types of art, whether it be novels or poetry. This generation's focus mainly related on reminiscing the past before the war and societal views on gender roles. This generation was considered lost due to its disorientated, wandering, and directionless spirit, whose inherent values were no longer relevant in the post-war war, and because of this, their spirit alienated from the United States. Writings that came out of this period show the effects of war has on people. War was a terrible thing that made men lose their masculinity, similar to how Ernest Hemingway lost his masculinity when he was dressed similar to his sister, and gave people a sense of disillusionment and made people want to return to a simpler, idealistic past. What's the difference between modernism and postmodernism? Modernism was forged in the aftermath of World War I, with ideas such as realism and the thirst for knowledge leading to the epiphany that was introspection, while postmodernism was forged in the aftermath of World War II, with illogical reasoning and unscientific practices coming up in literature having multiple meanings in a single piece, such as different themes. The key difference between modernism and postmodernism writing was that the modernist writers were in search of a abstract truth of life, while postmodernisms that lacked that belief that there was no universal truth or an abstract meaning to life. And here are my works cited. I want to thank y'all for taking the time to watch my video, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.